Catching criminals is never easy. Finding sufficient proof to put them before the courts is often even harder. It's mid-morning. Motorway cops PC Alan Coleman and PC Dal Nidger are in Aston, Birmingham. As they turn a corner, a Ford Mondeo heads towards them at speed, setting off their in-car number plate reader.
Just go after that.
Oh, well, mate, where is it?
Yeah, he's just gone the other way, mate.
But by the time they turn around, the driver's nowhere to be seen.
Stop one. Stop one. When somebody makes off from you like that, you want to get him because you don't know why they're making off. You don't know if they're wanted for murder. You don't know if they've stolen the car. So you've got to initially go after them to find out what's going on.
There it is.
As it jumps a set of red lights, their suspicions are confirmed.
Oh, it's the steering wheel, mate.
The cops have a chase on their hands, if they can find the car.
Al thought that he'd gone straight on, but once we committed through the junction, at the corner of my eye, I could see that Mondeo.
Oh, it's gone there. It's gone over there, mate.
You need to be looking down all the streets because inevitably what they do is they will duck down the first street they get. In and out, and it's just a game of cat and mice, really.
Can you get out this way?
No.
Yeah, it's done one on us, Pete. We've just lost it on the Cuckoo Road. We're just making back towards it, over.
The PSP state vehicle described as a gold Mr. Microchip plate, but it's number.
He went down here, mate.
Although PC Nidger saw it go down this road, the car could now be anywhere.
Hey.
X-ray 874 Kilo Alpha.
It's clear. It's keep going, mate. He went down here.
The trick is to find the driver before he dumps the car.
Yeah, there he is.
I saw a man on his mobile phone walking towards us on the path. He just didn't look right.
That's him, it's that kid back there, you know.
When we got to the end of the street and the Mondeo was dumped right on the corner, I knew it had got to be him. So I sent Dal off to get him because he can run faster than me.
Behind us, the one that's gone over there. On his phone, the one that's on his phone.
I stayed in the car, just in case there was someone else maybe running down the other road. There was no one there, so I spun the car around.
Where you just come from?
Off the canal, mate.
Have you? Get in the car. No, you haven't. Get in the back. Get in the car.
What for?
Just get in the car.
Mate, under arrest at the moment. Pass me the...
What for?
I think you just come from that Mondeo.
I've just come off the canal, mate. From Erdington, Wally.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Just get in the car.
His just come from the canal story is getting short shrift from PC Coleman.
Anybody see that blue Mondeo come flying down here?
Yeah, well, no.
Nah.
I've just come off the canal, mate, from Erdington.
All right, well, if you have, you'll be sorted.
He claims to be in the dark about it all.
Yeah,
Well, what's happened?
You just had a car make off from us. This blue Mondeo, and you've just come from it.
Yeah, I have come from the Blue Mondale, yeah, I have,
You
yeah.
have, well, there you are then.
But his swift change of story does nothing to help his cause.
Well, why did you make off?
Because I got pulled in it the other week
Right.
by the traffic squad over the thing in Leicester.
Yeah. It's him. He's just said it's him. Yeah.
His recent brush with the law does nothing to allay the cops' suspicions.
Where's the key, mate?
I wasn't driving it, was I?
If he'd had the keys on him, it would have given us greater suspicion that he was driving the car. We're looking to place him as the driver of the vehicle.
So if you want to search me, I've got no keys.
Which bus do you do on Queen's Road?
And he's very sure about his story.
Well, there was only one in it when he come past.
Was it? Was there? There was 2 people. Actually, there was 3 people in it.
Well, where are they then?
Well, they've gone in now.
Have they? Well, there was
Yeah,
one
always
in
a
it when you
passenger.
passed
Always
us.
a passenger, yeah.
He comes off with all this story that's, you know, oh, there's 2 of us, there's 3 of us. Well, where are they?
See, the thing is, we come round there pretty quick. There was no one else.
No one else here. Everyone else was the workers. There's no one else that stood out.
And he was doing the old I'm on the phone trick.
When we went into the industrial estate initially, there was no one else about. Not a bean. Just him on his mobile phone.
And there may be a way of proving it one way or the other.
The only thing we can do is see what that shows us.
I looked up and saw there was a CCTV camera basically pointing right down onto the Mondeo, and I thought my luck was in there.
Well, what we'll do, mate, there's a camera right under there, so we'll see who was driving it then.
Go on then. Sound as a pound. Check your camera then.
No, the camera there where you parked the car right under
Yeah,
it.
go on then. Go and check the camera then, because I'm telling you now, I was not driving that car.
The CCTV could put him well and truly in the frame, if they can access the footage. Just a few miles away from PC's Coleman and Nidja lies the M6 motorway. It's one of the busiest routes in Europe, but congestion often leads to delays, frustration and angry drivers. Near Cannock, PC's Chris Clark and Kevin Shale have just received a report of road rage.
Say items have been thrown at another vehicle, or is it just verbal abuse?
Yes, abuse and items thrown. The traces on the ground to the actual colour.
Details are still sketchy, but the two cars are still nose to tail, travelling at speed.
Soft items, I presume. Well, see whether or not there's any allegations of damage in a minute. Had a phone call made to the control room that there's been an altercation between the occupants of two vehicles whilst the vehicles were moving, as I gather. It's alleged that there's been items thrown from one vehicle towards another, so we're just going to go and see if there's anything in that and see whether or not there's any damage caused to the vehicle.
Road rage is an increasing problem on our streets, but cases on the motorway are few and far between.
It is unusual, there's a little bit of antisocial behaviour on the motorway.
When they do occur, the motorway cops have a tough job simply finding the guilty parties.
Incidents of road rage are very often phoned through to the control room, and I'll be perfectly honest, trying to locate another vehicle in a busy motorway is very, very difficult. So the number of times you actually isolate and stop and deal with the incident is actually quite slim.
But this case is different. The driver who's complained about the items being thrown at his car has stayed behind the man who upset him, and the two cars are heading their way.
So all we're going to do now is just sit tight here for a moment and wait for them to come to us.
There is. Has he blown his horn?
Yeah.
The victim of the road rage is travelling in a black Audi,
We'll see what it's all about.
and he's passed on details of the other car, a grey Ford Focus, which the motorway cops are now pulling over.
Yeah, he's stopping behind us as well.
Do you want to have a word with the Audi driver and I'll go and have a word with the...
Most cases of road rage are hard to prove. It's one driver's word against the other, leaving the cops with a difficult search for the truth.
I'll do that. Right. We've stopped you because it's been alleged, or we've had a phone call, it's been alleged that there's been some sort of altercation between yourself and another vehicle.
No, there's a black Audi that overtook on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a bit...
Yes.
And, true to form, the driver is claiming it's the other man who's to blame.
I tried to have him believe that there was nothing really going on. I didn't know what to believe at that time. I had an open mind.
The other driver is travelling with his family and is giving a different version of events to PC Clark.
It started off lights on full beat for about a quarter of a mile. I didn't react to that, so then he pulled on the inside of us, came level, hand on the horn constantly, didn't react to that, started laughing. Jenny started laughing because Francesca was getting scared, so we tried to defuse it, you know? I then said to her, just go like that to her. That's when I think it really got to him. He couldn't get to me.
I face it, everybody puts a little bit of spin on what they tell the police. So you deal with it and listen to every aspect of it and try and understand what might have happened, picking out the truth.
Then he got the can of drink and he's holding it. And I'd say exactly what it was. It's like the, not Red Bull, but the green and yellow version.
Like Relentless or something
I had a good look at it. Next thing I know, he's thrown it, bounced off the roof of the car, landed in the outside lane. I know a lot of your job is common sense and take it for what it's worth, but I cannot see how throwing a projectile on a motorway is not an arrestable offence.
The problem people have is that they don't really understand the law. They seem to think that any offence you arrest people for. That's not necessarily the case.
There are certain laws, okay, which we could perhaps be looking at as far as the Public Order Act. Yeah,
driving without due care and attention.
Well, it's an item.
Where is it? What exactly is he doing? As he's throwing a, you can't use a mobile phone on the motorway, but you can open your window, stick two fingers up, pick up the can of drink. Is that not driving without due care and attention? Is it not dangerous driving? The fact that he was at home, I'd have to prove it.
It's dangerous driving. Let me calm down a minute.
You have to accept the fact, as a police officer, a lot of the people you speak to are upset. He's been involved in something which has frightened him and upset him, and you make allowances for that.
Another difficult we're faced with is...
My word against his.
Partly your word against his.
Has he admitted throwing the can?
He's denied any knowledge of any altercation at all at the moment.
Yes, really?
Yeah. But from having spoken to yourself now, because when I spoke to him, I had only one side of the story. So I'm going to go back and speak to him, have him in my police vehicle, and we'll have a further chat with him, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay. All right, my colleague takes some details from himself. Right.
Yes, yeah.
The least I'll do is I'll put him for a day in court. But he's going to think about what he's done. You two slapping his hand. He'll go down the pub tonight and go, oh yeah, I did this, this and this. The police come, they never nicked me. I just got a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
I'm not having that. I'll put him for a day in court.
Yeah.
He's very calm now, isn't he? I think you should nick him now.
So while PC Shale tries to get a confession, 5 miles away on the M54, motorway cops Tracy Cope and Paul Finlayson have spotted a much more common problem. Many drivers resent being stopped for so-called minor traffic offences, but the motorway cops treat this as a major issue, because this offence can have tragic consequences.
If I said to you in 26 years, 99% of all the fatalities that I've attended, in 99% of all those cases, the death, not the accident, the death has been a direct result of not wearing a seatbelt.
Put it on there.
He's actually putting it on.
Well, it's suddenly appearing.
Although he's subtly slipped his belt on, it's not going to prevent him having a chat with PC Finlayson. In 2009, the fine for failing to wear a seatbelt doubled to £60. It's estimated that around 95% of drivers do comply with the law, but there's still a hardcore who refuse to belt up.
Hello, sir. Thank you very much for stopping. Do you know why we stopped you? You didn't have your seatbelt on as we originally came past the vehicle. Can I ask you to come and join us in our vehicle, please, with any form of identification you've got with you?
This should be an open and shut case.
Jump in the back for me, sir. We can talk a bit easier. Thanks very much.
Take that out, please.
OK, sir. We passed you as we came down. Didn't have your seatbelt on. You surreptitiously put it on as we then pulled onto the shelf. Is there any reasons why you're not wearing your seatbelt this morning?
We hear every excuse under the sun. When it comes to a range of offences, and seatbelts are always a good one.
Juice, I was coughing in it. I got a flu coming on, as you can tell. I was coughing, so I just took off for a split second.
It wasn't a split second though as we came past, unfortunately. It was as we drove past. You didn't have it on at all. It wasn't just...
No, I was sneezing at that time.
Right, OK. But you didn't have it on clearly, obviously, as we came past. Do you have any medical... Apologies, sorry?
I reached in the glove compartment to get some tissue.
Not a bad one as they go, but to be frank, he was just lying.
You are going to be dealt with for this offence. There's 2 ways we can deal with it. In fact, there's 3 ways we can deal with it. We can either elect to send you directly to a court, OK? We can either give you a fixed penalty ticket of £60, or we can send you on a free course.
Free course?
A free course, yeah.
What's a free course?
It's called a crash course. It's conducted at Keele University by Staffordshire Police, and you can elect to go on that course, as I say, for free, rather than being issued a fixed penalty of £60.
Whatever you want to do, yeah, that's all I need to do.
Do you have any form of identification on you at all?
So, man, you got my name, obviously, done a check, man.
No, I've got the name the vehicle's registered to. I haven't got your details. Well, I don't know that because I've never met you before and I don't know your history. So, do you have any form of identification on you at all?
Checking that people are who they say they are is an important part of the motorway cop's job. But this man thinks they're wasting his time.
I don't think this is the
It's a joke to you, maybe,
joke,
but it's our job, so.
Got nothing better to do. You want to get some donuts or something, mate? Some donuts.
Once he realised that the excuse wasn't going to work, of course, then the insults started. And to be honest, I will take so much.
Road safety might not be an issue for you, but it is for us, and we are going to deal with people positively, whether you take the mickey or not. Okay? We are catching criminals, we are doing lots of things every single day, but what we're also doing is looking at road safety. You weren't kneeling down to get a tissue, you were driving along without your seatbelt on, and now you've been prosecuted for it. So cut the whole go get your donut thing. We're trying to save your life and save others on this motorway today. So grow up a little bit and accept the fact that we're trying to do you and others a favour today.
So you couldn't just let me just go about my business?
No, we are never going to just let you go about your business, because it's us that have to pick up dead bodies, because people don't put their seatbelts on. What would imagine if one of your kids was killed? Yeah? But you don't think about that. All you want to do is sit in the back and take the mickey out of the police officers. Well, we are going to deal with you positively, and we'll do it again and again and again until you realise. And hopefully this course will wake you up a little bit to that.
Listen, thank you, okay?
Okay.
I don't like you.
You don't have to like us, do you?
Thank you.
The motorway cops don't expect to be liked, but PC Finlayson has a genuine reason to be annoyed with the driver.
I've been to a number of fatals now, where if people had just bothered to put the seatbelt on, they wouldn't have come out of the vehicle. They wouldn't have been killed. We wouldn't have had to go tell the families. There wouldn't have been £1 million investigation at the end of it. For the sake of 2 seconds, it really is ridiculous. Some people aren't bothering nowadays just to put that simple seatbelt on.
Right, bye-bye. Build your speed up on the hard shoulder for me. Okay?
I've been driving for a while now. I'm a lorry driver as well in my spare time.
You should know how to wear a seatbelt then.
I don't like wearing seatbelt.
Mr. Obnoxious. Mr. Attitude. He's obviously got a severe attitude against the police. He is going to get dealt with whether he likes it or not. And if we've got them, you know, if we've got the evidence and they're banged to rights, then they're going to get done.
Back in Birmingham, emotions are also running high. PCs Coleman and Nidger are still trying to prove that the man they've arrested was the driver of the car they've pursued.
There's no need to be excited.
It's not because you're exciting me, because I've done fuck all wrong and you're going
getting
along.
excited. You're the one getting excited.
What have I been arrested for? That's what I want to know.
Suspicion of theft of that car.
Suspicion of theft of that car? I don't want to know. I've got nothing to say to you.
You've just asked us what you're arrested for.
Yeah, what have I been arrested for? Suspicion of nicking my own car? Because if you go back to your traffic officer...
You just said you were a passenger in your own car.
Yeah, I got pulled in that car 2 weeks ago driving it.
As soon as he said, that's my car, then, you know, my suspicion's through the roof then. Because why are you running off from your own car?
They're hoping that the CCTV footage will prove that he was the only one in the car.
Mate, is that your camera there? Yeah. Does it work?
No abuse yesterday. Got 4 cameras, Johnny one, they don't work.
That would have absolutely sorted it out, because I reckon if the camera had been working, we'd have saw one person get out of that car.
With the CCTV drawing a blank, their focus turns once again to the man and his story.
Yes, that is my car.
Oh, have you got the keys on you, my friend?
No, I haven't got the keys, mate, because my mate was driving the car.
Right, OK.
And PC Nidger's caught a whiff of something that could explain why he won't admit he was at the wheel.
Have you had a drink today?
No.
No, I can smell alcohol.
But I weren't... no, mate, I was at my mate's funeral yesterday. He died. Okay. I haven't had a drink today. Okay. And I haven't been driving the car today. Right. So there you go, mate. Okay. Simple as that.
Just bear with us. Watch your foot, mate. Al? What's happened, mate? That's his car. He's had a drink. That's why he's done one. You had a drink, mate?
Oh, he's just said that, but I wasn't driving.
Right, well, I'm not asking. Well, we think you were driving.
I'm not breathing into that machine, mate, because I weren't driving. Well, you check the camera first.
I believe you're driving the car.
No, I weren't driving that car.
Are you going to give us a breath sample?
I'm not going to give you a breath test because you know what? Check the camera. Yeah, I am.
Right, you're also under arrest for failing to provide a sample.
That's fair enough, then. That's fair enough.
OK. Al, he's refused. OK, that's fine. We'll search him if you've got any keys. If not, we'll get a dog.
I've searched him, he ain't got the keys.
No, should we get a dog down here?
Let's just do another search of him here.
Fuck. Bollocks, man.
Just jump out of the car a minute so we can search you.
Is this another phone, is it? Got any ID in here, mate?
It is, yeah. My licence.
Provisional licence holder?
Yeah.
All right.
That's why they took the car off me 2 weeks ago, the traffic officer, because they've only got a provisional.
Yeah.
If he was driving, this latest finding could explain why he tried to escape, to avoid him having his car confiscated a second time.
So who was driving it then?
For us, Tango 33.
It's because you were.
Well done, mate. Check the camera. You've got the footage.
I just felt that he was lying to us again, and if he was a law-abiding citizen, which he was saying, and he was telling the truth, then why couldn't he name this driver?
PC Coleman has one last throw of the dice.
Although I was relying on the CCTV camera quite a bit, I still had my camera in the car, the in-car camera. So I played it in the car, and in front of him I thought, well, you know, I'm going to show him.
There's only one person in that when it comes out of us.
Oh, well, well, whatever, mate, because you know what? That's bullshit, because there was 2 people actually in that car.
There was one person.
Was there?
Yeah.
Not the best of sort of video. It would have probably needed enhancing and things like that. But initially it looked like there was only one.
You're lying, mate.
Just on camera,
listen.
Would you want to see it
Listen,
yourself?
well, arrest me to do what you got to do, because
Well,
at the end of the
fair
day, no dramas,
I
mate,
am
because
bothered,
I was
mate.
not driving that car, simple as that. And interview me, whatever else, take me to court, I was not driving that car.
It's one person.
2 people in that car.
One
mate.
person.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
Oh dear, never mind, eh?
Yeah, whatever.
I could see a driver. I could sort of see through the passenger headrest, and there was no heads there. That's not to say that someone was lying down in the car, which I was expecting him to say, to be honest.
Listen, I know it was the guy come and picked me up this morning from
In
where
your
I
own
live,
car?
right? Because I've been to a funeral yesterday and he had my car.
In your own car?
Yeah. You're lying. You're a police
can I
officer
lie?
and you're lying.
It can be somewhat frustrating when people start accusing you of lying, but I'm the police officer at the end of the day. You know, I've came to this job for honesty and integrity, and I believe in those values as a police officer. Unfortunately, other members of the public that we deal with don't believe in those values at all, and he was one of these people.
You're lying. You are lying.
You're like this
no,
because
you
you know
lie.
you're wrong.
No,
I'm
listen,
just showing
if
you.
I was driving that car, I would
Just
turn around
showing
to
you.
you and say I was driving that car, because I couldn't give a
showing
shit about 3 points on my licence.
It's not
But I
true,
was not
actually, is
driving
it?
it. And I'm not going to admit to something that I have not done. Simple as that. If I was driving that car, kid, I would turn around and say I was driving it.
Do I look like a kid to you?
He was upset because I think he thought he was on the back foot, and his only way of coming back at me was making accusations and getting excitable and shouting at me, basically.
Take it to court, mate.
Fine. We're all liars, by the way. Sorry? I've got him coming past. There's only one person in the car, and he drives past us. Right. But he's watched it, and he says I'm lying, and the camera's lying.
But PC Coleman knows his work is cut out finding the proof.
It's down to me to find the evidence, the facts, to show that he was in that car, driving that car, and on that day, the CCTV camera that was above the vehicle would have been the best evidence.
And there's a final twist to the tale. Yet another explanation.
When we took him to the station, he came off with the fact that he was selling his car. Somebody come along and said, I like the look of that car, can I take it for a test drive? So he decided to let him have a test drive, and they managed to pass us in Birmingham, at which point the chap said, I shouldn't be driving this car, I'm disqualified. And this chap just disappeared into thin air, and he doesn't know who he was, which was a totally different story, because he didn't mention that one at all when he was at the roadside. So we'd got into about our third and fourth story now.
Okay.
While the man cools off. 20 miles north on the M6, PC Shales questioning the driver accused of throwing objects at another car.
Right, having spoken to the gentleman, the driver of the other vehicle, obviously you said that there was an Audi that's undertaking you, and I'm presuming that's the same vehicle that's stopped
Okay,
behind
I think
us.
it's him, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he's doing about 80, 90 in the inside lane.
And you've done absolutely nothing in response to that at all?
Well, flash my lights, that's it.
Driver of the other vehicle is alleging that you've pulled alongside him and stuck up 2 fingers at him, opened your driver's window and then thrown a can which has hit his car and then bounced off his car. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Has he got any proof, any evidence for that?
As the cops know, it's one man's word against another's.
The trouble is, when it comes to the law, is sometimes there's a bit of a difference between what actually happened and what you can prove.
It's all about what you can prove.
Exactly. And what it will end up coming down to...
So he can't prove I undertook it.
Physical evidence is going to be nil.
But back in the police car, the man under pressure from PC Shale is now changing his story.
When I shook my hand, that's it.
What did you throw at his vehicle? So he's given me a fairly good description of what he's seen you throw.
Well, yes, I did open the window and I did throw a can out the window.
You threw a can out the window, drinks can. And what do you think justifies that?
I was just annoyed that he was open.
But at the end of the day, OK, on this occasion, it's caused no damage to his vehicle. That response, your response there, is totally a total overreaction, and I would argue that it puts people's lives at risk.
The driver of the Focus really was out of order in what he did. It was potentially dangerous. It was certainly idiotic.
You know, for you to throw anything at another vehicle is a gross overreaction.
But has he any proof of that?
Well,
my word against it.
Well, you've admitted to me as well that you've thrown the item at him, which is under caution and is admissible in court.
I thought he was being very stupid. Yeah, he'd already made an admission to us after initial denials. And you never win any friends when you lie to the police.
I'll apologise to him and then shake his hand if he wants.
I'll convey that. He's very irate at the moment, and I don't think that would be a particularly good thing to bring you two face to face at the moment. But I'll just certainly convey your apologies. OK.
It's now clear who's done what to who. But what's less clear is what the cops can do about it.
It's not a straightforward case. There's no such thing as road rage as an offence in itself. So we have to utilise other parts of the law to try and get a best result.
PC Shale has decided on a course of action.
With the information that's available to me, I have to make a decision. So I don't propose that I should be dealing with you under the Road Traffic Act. It'd be more than likely under the Public Order Act.
He's not being arrested, but he is being reported for his abusive and threatening behaviour. The other driver is given news of the decision by PC Clark.
He's accepted it now. Don't worry, he's been told what's what. And he's going to be dealt with by way of the law. If you're happy with that...
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
You can sign that for me.
Further up the M6, PC's Tracy Cope and Paul Finlayson have been called to a crash on the M6 toll road. They already know that there's at least one casualty.
The ambulance crew on the scene want to get the lady to hospital straight away. We don't know her condition, so she's being taken by a land ambulance to Stafford Hospital. We're going to get one patrol to head there to make sure her condition's okay, and we're going to head to the scene and find out exactly what's going on. At the moment, the details are obviously still a bit sketchy.
The M6 toll road was opened in 2003 in a bid to relieve the motorway congestion around Birmingham. Although free-flowing traffic often brings higher speeds, it may not have been a factor in this crash because it happened at one of the toll booths. One car has rammed into the back of another. A highways agency officer is already at the scene.
Hiya.
Female.
Okay.
Staffordshire, Ashfield.
Female from that one, Stafford Hospital.
Stafford.
So that's the offending
Chest
vehicle.
injuries, yeah. She says we're on brake failure.
Brake failure?
Yeah.
Yeah, on a 08 BMW.
Male in his ambulance now, on his way to hospital.
Right, I'm guessing they're not going just yet if they've just rescued that bag. How's he?
He was okay. He said he was okay, and then that's when he said he needs an ambulance.
We'll get some details off him.
Although the driver of the car in front isn't badly injured, he's had a very lucky escape.
You can see the BMW, the damaged BMW there. It's obviously impacted with the rear of this vehicle. We're told by the driver of this that he was actually stationary at the booth about to pay when he had the collision at the back.
The poor guy, all he was doing was paying for his toll. And all of a sudden he was smacked quite hard from behind. Now his Audi probably weighs nearly 2 tons. And for that to be propelled forward the way it was, there's a hell of a bang occurred.
So you can see that the vehicle's been moved a reasonable distance, having been hit of the rear.
All the indications are that the woman in the BMW was simply not paying attention. But the cops need to prove that, and to do so they need some evidence. Sergeant Simon Street has arrived to lead the investigation.
I'm just checking with our control room to see if this has been caught on CCTV.
Yes, it has.
It has been.
She's just said, yeah. It's always on it. Yes, she's going to download it.
We've asked them to download it. Brilliant. Thanks, Trace.
A CCTV camera that is working is great news for the cops. But the footage will take at least half an hour to download. Meanwhile, news is coming in from the hospital about the injuries to the woman.
Trace, we'll have to hold everyone here. She's got a cracked sternum. We just need to confirm from the hospital it's not going to get more serious.
The CCTV evidence will be crucial in establishing whether the injured woman driver is at fault or not.
It's a very nice car that no longer works.
While they wait for the footage, the motorway cops continue to look into her allegation that it wasn't her, but a fault with her car which was the cause.
It's very rare that a modern car ever gets a brake failure. It's not unheard of, but modern vehicles just don't tend to have their brakes fail. I stand to be corrected, but...
These have been recalled, haven't they? Not recalled as such, but they've got to have a safety check done on them for the brakes.
Yes.
5 Series. Yes, they have just been recalled, some of the 5 Series, 3 Series for brake issues. I'm not aware of whether this would be one of those or not, but obviously that will be looked at by the officer that examines the vehicle.
The solution to this puzzle will lie in the video evidence from the toll booth. There are nearly 2 million CCTV cameras in the UK, and over 10,000 of them cover the road network, providing vital evidence in helping the cops identify everything from traffic offences to travelling criminals. It's 1 p.m. PC Dal Nidja is halfway through his 12-hour shift. A radio report's coming in that cameras have spotted a car linked to reports of shoplifting.
05 southbound from the M6 towards Junction 1. It's a Renault Toyota silver in colour, Bravo Juliet 57, Lima Papa Yankee. There's a report from the 24th of the 9th this year. Male occupant of this vehicle believes involved in theft of a large number of clothes from Next at the Queen's Retail Park in Stafford.
Organised shoplifters often use the motorways to travel long distances, targeting stores up and down the country. It's a crime that costs the retail industry nearly £3 billion a year. And it's one that the motorway cops are dealing with more and more.
9-3, I'm just joining at 8 onto the arms. Could you watch the cameras for me, please?
PC Nidja is travelling to intercept the car. The sooner he can find it, the more chance he has of getting an arrest. That's why he joined the force.
I do like backing up criminals, and that's what I enjoy about the job, to arrest these people that need to be arrested and bring them to justice.
The coverage of the cameras is extensive, but they can't see everywhere. And with no sight of the car, his instinct and his local knowledge comes into play.
9-3, I'm going to come off here, see if it's gone to the retail park.
Luckily for me, it was my patch, and I knew it from the back of my hand.
There's a next. It's towards Albury.
The car's been linked with thefts from a well-known clothing store, and PC Nidja thinks that it's heading for another one nearby.
There's one ahead of us.
He could be in luck. He sees a car matching the description.
I can't confirm if this is the correct one at the moment. I've got the camera at Frankly, just in case.
Yeah, 9-3, confirm the registration, Bravo Juliet 57 Lima Papa Yankee.
Yes.
Yeah, guessed well, it's off at Albury, it's off, I've got it at the Churchbridge Island, received.
There's 2 people in the car, not the one person mentioned in the shoplifting report.
I think it's still moving, is it?
I've got it, stop, on Albury Ringway, in front of the Arnold Clark, 2 occupants on board, received.
And the people inside the car aren't as he expected.
When I did stop the vehicle, a middle-aged woman appeared from the driver's side.
Is this your vehicle?
No, it's your friend's, but
right, your friend.
just had it.
Right, okay. Right, let's just talk to your friend. Right, okay. Oh yeah, you're right. Is this your vehicle?
Well, yeah.
Have you got the documentations?
No.
Did you say it's yours?
No, I've got nothing on there.
Oh, right, okay. The car's got a report on to say that basically he was involved in shoplifting. What we'll do is quickly get some details, and if you've got nothing to do, you'll be on your way, all right? What we'll ask, if you come and join me in my car, just take
Me?
some... Yeah, take details, see what insurance you're driving on, all right?
There's a very real possibility that the report is incorrect, but until he gets more details, he won't be sure.
There you go, thank you. Right, I'll just take some details quickly, all right?
Why ain't she near the circle?
I'll be speaking to the lady as well.
This female was a bit distressed, so which I thought, you know, a middle-aged woman being stopped by the police, she's probably never been stopped.
Who's that to you yourself?
She's just a friend, and I've just
Right.
she's only a friend.
Right, okay.
The reason we stopped her originally was for the shoplifting, but because of the insurance, that's something that I'd like to clear up first.
So, while the woman calms down, PC Nidja checks out the passenger who claims to own the car.
Just need some details. So your first name's Michelle. You need to ascertain if you've got any insurance or not.
You are joking.
No?
The woman body language was clearly not normal, very, very fidgety, which would show someone that's uncomfortable with being checked out.
At the moment, if you just stay there, because I need to fill out some details, all right?
And the passenger's behaviour is starting to give him cause for concern.
Yeah, that's received, thank you.
I'm trying to concentrate on two people here, and she was making my job much harder because she was literally just jumping around.
This is running off and leaving me.
Just come this way, 1 minute.
You
I told
shouldn't take the car.
Yeah, but just come and have a check while you're walking away from the car. When I
I'm
said,
on the phone.
Yeah, but just stay by the car then.
Her friend, the driver, is starting to worry.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's got a bag with neck stuff in, and all I've done is drove. And I mean, I've been with her before, so they'll probably have me this time, won't they? I ain't going with her no more. Yeah, this is me last. This is me last.
And now he's got the passenger under control. PC Nidja notices something relevant to the shoplifting investigation.
Behind her seat, I could see a next bag tucked into her passenger seat.
Whose are those next bags?
They're mine.
Right, okay. And you got the receipts of the stuff that you got in there?
What do you mean, stuff for washing?
Sorry?
Old clothes.
Oh, it's just old clothes?
Yeah.
Right, okay. All right.
It's all old clothes. Excuse me.
At the moment, you'll have to wait. All right.
And a cursory look in the bag at the old clothes reveals they are anything but.
They've got hangers.
Yeah, but
they
they're
need clothes.
They're old clothes.
Well, you'll have to wait, all right? Yeah, they have got next bags. I just want to clarify what's going on over.
While he waits for the results of his checks on the passenger, she grabs her chance for a quiet word with her friend. PC Nidja's about to have his earlier doubts about the passenger confirmed.
Shelley's known lots of previous motorist shoplifting thefts, July this year.
That's received. Did you say someone was en route to me, ideally a female lover?
The evidence is starting to come together, but he'll have to find more than a bag of clothes to give him grounds for arrest. 15 miles away on the M6 toll road, PC's Paul Finlayson and Tracy Cope are still investigating the crash at the toll booth. They need to find out if the injured female driver was at fault, and they're looking for evidence that she did apply her brakes.
You can see 2 marks there. But, to be honest, that looks like it's a lorry. May or might not be, but it's a fair distance from it, isn't it?
It's a white truck.
To be honest, we'll know more when we see the video as to whether that may be attributed to it or not.
And so the search for evidence returns to the woman's car.
Is there anything readily available suggesting that she'd... Well, there's a card there, isn't there?
There's a card on the passenger seat.
American Express, yeah.
Drivers often take their eyes off the road to look for cash or credit cards as they approach the toll booths. And this is what could have happened here.
I found an open purse in the driver's footwell exposing 2 rows of credit cards.
Right,
and we're in a credit card lane.
Yeah.
And it also appears that the seatbelt pre-tensioners haven't activated.
Right.
Which suggests she wasn't wearing a seatbelt, which is why she's got the chest injury.
My patience has worn thin over the years for people who don't wear seatbelts. You just get so fed up of dealing with the consequences, the aftermath, and it's just so avoidable. It's a 2-second click.
After the roadside examination, the motorway cops believe the cause of the crash may well be the woman's lack of attention.
It may be the driver was looking for their card. It could be they were distracted at that point by something else. Again, the fact that the drivers alleged there was an issue with the brakes, once the vehicle's examined, it may put into perspective a little bit more as to what's actually happened, as where she'd been distracted more so and just thinks it was the brakes because she didn't actually think to use them or realise the need to use them early enough.
And the video evidence backs up their theory. As the innocent driver of the front car prepares to pay, moments later, the woman driving the second car appears, showing no signs of braking.
Having seen the video, I would estimate the speed to be around 45, possibly 50 mile an hour as she approached.
What's puzzling for the cops is how the woman has managed to successfully steer into the lane, yet still failed to stop.
I can only hazard a guess that she was distracted by something. She lined it up fine, and then obviously, at some point, she failed to recognise that she was approaching far too fast and deal with it.
From this angle, her excuse that her brakes failed may be correct. But another camera covering the approach to the booths has also captured the accident. And it clearly shows her brake lights did not come on before she crashed.
She slammed into a parked car, and there's an awful lot of warning prior to that toll plaza to reduce your speed. If the circumstances had been different, I think we'd have been looking at a serious, if not fatal, collision. The guy could have been killed.
While the motorway cameras are an invaluable tool for the cops in their fight against crime, they don't extend to the whole road network. So the cops' own eyes and ears are just as important.
When you're driving around in the police car, you're always in your mind looking at things and calculating in your head whether that looks right, should that be there, and you're sort of on a high state of readiness, really.
PC Alan Coleman has now teamed up with PC Jess Rojek. They're in Erdington, north of Birmingham, and they're nearing the end of their shift. Up ahead there's a grey Vauxhall Vectra turning into a petrol station. PC Coleman can see that its rear number plate is missing, and he's also concerned about the front one.
I can see this Vectra has a R-Edge number plate on it.
PC Coleman's a self-confessed petrol head, and he knows his cars and his number plates.
I knew that wasn't right because that model was released on a V plate, so I knew it was wrong.
The cops decide to take a closer look.
So we parked in just behind the bus stop, tried to tuck a big marked BMW out of the way, which is quite hard in itself. He saw us sitting there, I'm sure he did. I lost sight of him for a short period of time. He'd gone. I knew he hadn't come past us, and I was pretty sure that he hadn't gone down the road. I could see he was tucked into the wash bay, reversed into it, and he wasn't washing his car. As we came round towards him...
That one there?
He then drove off out the wash bay and onto the main road. Very, very suspicious behaviour, that.
It's not just the suspicious behaviour that's bugging PC Coleman. He can't get that front registration number out of his head.
R930 TAC, I think it was.
Can I have a code 2PNC check, please, Streetley Road?
PC Rojek's checking the police database to see if he's remembered it correctly.
Thank you. It's we think it's Romeo 930 Tango Alpha Charlie. but it's only got one number plate.
But the registration PC Coleman remembers doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's received. It's now a code 1 on Slade Road. Stand by.
Perhaps he simply got it wrong. But once they get the driver in their car, they'll have a chance to look at the front number plate while they find out what he's been up to.
Hello? You alright?
Yeah.
The reason we've stopped you predominantly is you've only got one number plate.
I know, it's a fell off, yeah. It's in the back, I just gotta get the screws for it.
Just have a seat in the car first.
It's easier if I just grab my documents.
Well, no, it's not, is it? You can get those in a minute.
Where's the plate there, mate?
It's in the back, I just gotta get the screws for it.
Alright. What was going on at the garage?
What was going on at the garage?
Alright, you just sort of acted a little bit sus at the garage there.
Oh, no, I was trying to see if I could find the screws in the car. And then my phone rang and you have to use it off the forecourt because you're not allowed to use it on the forecourt any.
Right. Was that why you moved it round the corner?
I was thinking this isn't a major issue at the end of the day. You know, the plates in the back of the car on the parcel shelf, it's something I see quite a bit. Plates do fall off cars. It does happen.
While PC Rojek checks the front number plate, PC Coleman checks him out.
Okay, you got any ID on you?
Just what's probably in the car, my letter or my sworn form what come.
And now PC Rojek's back with details of the front number plate.
Victor 82 MHD.
This doesn't tally with what PC Coleman remembers.
The front number plate was a V plate. It wasn't an R on there. I started doubting myself in my head. Started putting some little gremlins in there thinking, have I been seeing things?
I've still got a copy of the...
Tango 34.
My insurance with me.
It's in there, is it?
Yeah, it's in the car.
Can I have a code 1 PNC check, please, on Slade Road, Erdington?
Even though they have their suspicions about him, they have no reason to doubt his story.
He was very cooperative. He was very, very calm, very willing to answer our questions. Thank you. It's Victor 82 Mike Hotel Delta received.
Everything seems to check out.
That is all received, stand by. It's a Vauxhall Veteran in silver.
We checked him out via the police computer. He gave us a plausible excuse that the plate had fallen off. He'd got a licence. He got details. There was an insurance certificate in that name in the car. So everything, in effect, checked out for him.
Right. Get yourself home. Yeah?
Yeah.
Get the number plate screwed on immediately.
Yeah, I will do.
Right. Rather than give you a 60 quid fine for it here and now, which is what we can do.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you a bit of leeway.
Thanks. Sorry about that. Because if I had the screws in the car, I would have...
Right, well, it needs doing.
Yeah, I'll do it straight away.
Okay.
But that front number plate is still worrying PC Coleman.
Either I'm missing something or I need to go to Specsavers. Because I'm sure that had an R on it.
As we watched him drive off into the distance, I had a little nagging doubt in my head about this number plate. It was R901 TAC or R9 something TAC. That's what I thought I'd saw, but I was confusing myself in my own mind. I was giving myself doubt.
And his mooching about around the garage just wasn't right either. Why did he move into that little bay at the back? Out of our way?
Should we go back and have a look? Yes. Just out of interest.
While they return to the garage to try to find out if he was up to anything, 12 miles away near Dudley, PC Nidger's still dealing with the two women he stopped, following a report linking their car with shoplifting. But so far, he hasn't found the evidence he is looking for.
Have you got the keys? I need the keys. That's great. Do you need any of the other keys?
All these.
Yeah, okay, I'll just take that off.
This is ridiculous.
He's discovered that one of the women has previous shoplifting convictions, and now he's searching her car.
When I opened the boot, I thought I hit the jackpot.
We've got a lot of stuff related to Next in this bag.
Everything was going against her at that point because she even had the pliers to rip open the tags.
PC Nidger thinks these clothes have already been stolen as part of a shoplifting scam.
I suspect what they're going to do is go back and say, sorry, this size didn't fit, can we have our money back? We'll get a credit note. In that way, they're always up, yeah? So even though they haven't got tags, they'll go back, Next will accept them, they'll get a credit note for them, and then there they go, they have a legitimate credit note to go and buy some real clothes. Also in here, brand new dress, some tops as well, they'll do the same thing for that as well. Also, as you can clearly see, there's some brand new next bags there that they'll just go into the shop, pretend that they just brought them and walk out with them. And these are the pliers they'll use to indicate to obviously snap the tags off and put them in the bags. You need to come over here and have a look at this. You're saying it's your car, right?
Yeah.
Have a look in there. There's all these next bags.
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with me.
Well, you just said it's your car.
Yeah, I've just bought the car only the weekend.
Right, have a seat in that car.
Yeah. And you said you've stopped my car because of a male, there was a male driving the car.
Right, have a seat in there.
Just because I've got a record, that doesn't mean anything, does it?
Yeah, at the moment you're under arrest for shoplifting, all right? And going equipped.
It was enough to bring them in for going equipped because they're going to a specific place to what I believe is to steal.
Give me your phone. Right, this will be turned off, okay?
When I arrested her, this was my chance to confiscate her phone off her because originally I had no powers. She was under arrest. I was mindful she was making phone calls to someone, but now because she's under arrest, she's in police custody.
Do you understand why I've arrested you? For going equipped. You've got loads of next bags in there, brand new, and you've got some pliers. Right, okay, we'll sort that out at the station. Pass me your phone. Pass me your phone. Right. And all these hangers. So you're telling me they're brand new?
I'm telling you that none of this belongs to me.
So hang on a minute. You've got pliers, brand new next bags, and some of the hangers there. But at the moment, that's why we need to find out what's going on.
These people are well organised. They know where these stores are. They've come to this specific location. It must be easier than other stores to get in and steal things. So obviously it's well planned. They know what they're doing, and they knew they're from Wolverhampton. They came here for a reason, and I believe that reason is for shoplifting.
PC Jan McNamara has arrived to help PC Nidja do a more thorough search. Any additional evidence, however small, could be useful in preparing their case against the two women.
There's some new hangers underneath there as well.
Both of them are taken into West Bromwich Police Station, where they'll have some explaining to do about all the new bags and clothes found in their possession. And there's more evidence in one woman's belongings, an extensive shopping list. Meanwhile, the driver's having the charge against her read out.
About to go and equipped?
Correct.
Who? Not me.
No. Listen, as a salary.
Oh, please, not me, no.
No, listen.
Valerie, all right, let the officer speak, all right? You need to know why you're here, all right? And the officers say that you have been arrested for going equipped to commit theft.
But I haven't, have I?
It was like she'd never seen a custody block and never been under arrest, which was incorrect because the previous record showed she had been arrested, and she just broke down.
I don't know nothing. I mean,
Have you been in custody before, so you know?
I know, yeah. I've only ever been in trouble once in my whole life.
I do think that she knows more than meets the eye, but we'll find out and see. She's very hysterical, which I appreciate if she's like that normally, but you know, she needs to understand that we've got a job to do, and we obviously got to investigate why she's in the car with this stolen property.
The passenger too is still maintaining her innocence.
Do you understand why you're here?
Not really, no.
The vehicle you're in?
The more lively character even stated when I stopped her that you'll only arrest me because of what I've done in the past. She's got plenty of previous for shoplifting.
Both women will be held for further questioning. Back in Erdington in Birmingham, PCs Coleman and Rojek have returned to the garage where they first saw the driver with the suspicious number plate. They're hoping to find out what he was up to, and first they need to talk to the staff.
We spoke to the cashiers and they informed us that they had just had a bilking to the value, I think it was £40 of fuel. And they gave a description of the vehicle which matched the description of the one that we'd just stopped. Did you observe the vehicle yourself? Or is it just after it's happened that you've come to notice it?
Well, I didn't actually see it drive off with the thing, because I just thought I was going to go into the jet wash and then they're going to put it in and come.
But you remember the vehicle?
They believe he's left without paying, as the attendant remembers the car. But yet again, getting camera evidence is proving frustrating.
They couldn't get the video footage to show us what the car was, so it could or could not have been him. I thought in my own head it was him. So I went there to the rear of the car wash to find the number plates.
PC Coleman's doubts about the front number plate are starting to make sense. He thinks that the man has used a false number to conceal the identity of his car from the petrol station's CCTV cameras. But when he saw the cops, he decided to ditch the false plate.
Hope you've risk assessed that.
Yeah. Very risky.
It's been a long time since I've climbed any sort of fences like that, but I managed to get over, which I think was pretty good going.
If PC Coleman finds the false plate, they'll have some evidence that their suspect did steal the fuel.
That's the one.
I was absolutely spot on. Just got the numbers the wrong way round.
So frustration comes in my mind then. A little bit annoyed with myself. Clearly when he'd sat in the wash bay, he must have ripped that plate off rapid because it only had some sticky things on the back of it. And he'd lobbed it over the rear of the car wash.
When I come past, I saw what I thought was R930 TAC on the car. And it wasn't right for the model of the car.
I did feel at the time, maybe we shouldn't have let him go, but looking at the circumstances of that initial time when we spoke to him, there wasn't much else I could have done. Like I said, it was a minor traffic offence, everything checked out.
PC Coleman knows that despite their best efforts, people do sometimes slip through their net.
There's a little bit of frustration initially, but everybody comes another day.
And he did. After his details were circulated to the rest of the force, he was arrested.
When I found out that he'd been stopped 2 or 3 days later and been arrested for the bilking as well, I was pretty happy about that because I thought you got away with that, didn't you?
He turned out to be already well known to the police, had no insurance and was a disqualified driver. He received 6 points on his licence, was given 80 hours unpaid community work and had to pay for the petrol he stole. The hot-tempered driver, who threatened another, had to report to a police station where he received an official police caution and a police record. The man with no seatbelt who was given a dressing down by PC Finlayson maybe took his words to heart. He certainly attended his course. The Crown Prosecution Service decided not to prosecute the woman who crashed into a stationary car at the motorway toll booth.